Hello, Internet. Thank you once again for joining me to talk all things vertical. I have one of my favourite actors here who I always say is the first person that made me cry during a vertical because it hit that hard. And that is the amazing Alex Pychtin. So I'm going to ask Alex to give a brief introduction of himself to you, the Internet.
Thank you so much, Jen. Hey, everybody. I'm Alex Pychtin. I'm a Canadian-Australian actor. Been acting pretty much ever since I was 17 years old, straight into training in US, China, Australia, basically going wherever the opportunities are. And yeah, good to chat with you today, Jen.
Okay, so you said Canadian Australian. So where were you born and where did you grow up?
So I'm born in Toronto, in Canada. And then my parents moved to Australia. So we all did like bulk of the schooling there. And essentially, once I graduated high school, it was immediately out. I wanted to get to LA, just like all young, hungry actors. Studied there for a bit, had visa issues, so then I had to go to different places. But I'm very thankful for that because it just teaches you new styles and new markets.
Okay. And what was really interesting was there's clearly no other career option really, because you were saying at 17, I was straight into this.
Yeah.
Was there like a formative moment where like, I'm going to become actor?
Yes. I don't know if you know the show with Shia LaBeouf called Even Stevens. It was a Disney Channel show. Anyway, he played like a real goof character. It was the show that got him famous.
Yeah.
And it was an episode where he's making a short film. And I just remember sitting there thinking, this is going to be so difficult. This is going to be the hardest thing ever. But at the end of it, if I'm 60 and if I can still do it, would I be happy? I'm like, yeah, I think I will be. Let's do it. F it. Let's go, baby.
And have you got anyone in your family? Are there kind of any performing roots, or is it you're striking a new path out?
It's all me, starting fresh, knowing nobody, knowing nothing, and just figuring it out as you go.
Okay, so now I have to ask the question, what was your first paid acting role?
Ooh, the first one that I can remember of significance, because I've probably done some crappy student film that paid $3 and never saw light of day. The most significant one was a live action Barbie show in Singapore. And there were 10 Barbies, like a ballerina Barbie, princess Barbie, one Ken, this guy.
You were there long before Ryan Gosling is basically what we learned.
That's where he learned. He learned the ways.
Oh, I love that. Did you get outfit changes or was it just one?
It was I guess you'd call it like a musical combined with acting / runway. So you'd quickly jump behind stage, do a 3-second costume change, come back out, and then runways at the end and songs and dance, all of it.
And what was the audience for that? Was it like kids or was it more like
a couple of 3-year-olds? There may have been quite a few 50-year-olds as well. I think it was just a family themed.
Excellent. Oh my God, that just sounds awesome. So at what stage in all this did you settle in Australia? When did that become your main base?
I would constantly go back and forth. So as I said, there was a stint in Los Angeles. There's a long stint in Hong Kong and Shanghai as I was trying to crack into the Chinese film industry. And then I went to Canada, but then around that time it was COVID and strikes. So it's just kind of recently in the last year I've decided to go back there. But
Okay,
I'll go to and from all the time.
So that's really interesting. So you identified Chinese film industry long before anyone heard the word vertical.
Absolutely.
Why did you go, this is where I want to be? And what happened with that?
Great question. It was pretty much because I'd done a meeting with a top agency in LA, Gersh. And the agent at the time said, you're in a tough situation. You don't have any credits, so you can't, it's going to be a hard sell for us, but you can't get that credit without us. And so he said, go back to Australia, try to go on Home and Away or something, and then come back when you got something. I'm sure if you've spoken to some of the other Australian actors, the industry there is incredibly tight-knit. And there's also just not much work available. So I kind of feel like it's flogging a dead horse. It's a dead end. Canada, I didn't want to go to because it's too cold and just not keen. Not keen with that. And my friend had just come back from a Shanghai expo. There was this big expo like early 2010s. And he said, go check it out. Just go for a year, go Hong Kong, try to go Shanghai. And I went there and just met so many incredible people. And it's really network focused. So if you're willing to put yourself out there and you're skilled, you can be of value. And I just year by year started to climb up.
So have you had roles then, presumably in?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
what was there like a thing that they were like, we're going to call Alex? This is what we need Alex for.
I was trying to build that. I was honestly trying to build that, but I think it was premature. The need for a Laowai, a foreigner, in their films with a role of significance is probably not there yet, and was not there yet, and probably still not now. But I got into some huge movies, like $200 million movies, etc. But my roles would always be reduced. So, I'd go away for 4 months through Europe, shoot around the world. And then I'm thinking, I've got like a meaty role here. This is it. And then you watch the premiere, all you do is open a car door. And you're like, okay, most expensive extra ever. And then you get overdubbed. A movie wouldn't get released. I've had all the experiences on it. So to get to the level I want to get to, I had to come back to the West.
Okay, so it was a great experience, but it didn't give you that. And now my name is on this credit, and it's got that recognition. Yeah. In those movies, were you like the good guy, the bad guy, like the business?
Pretty much. Primarily, it'd be like a CIA agent. That would be my go-to. And then, which is funny, I feel like there's a lot of crossover with that and the Billionaire CEO style. Or I play like a bad boy boyfriend, like the foreigner boyfriend who's trying. I wouldn't be good at that one at all.
Yeah. No, I just find that really interesting because I came to vertical dramas having watched a lot of Chinese drama on TV, and you do get to recognize that there's obviously a few actors like yourself who have identified, I'm going to go and basically be as you said, there's a lot of CIA agents or the bad guy for hire.
That's all the same 3 people that the casting director knows. They just call them every time.
Yeah, they kind of rotate around. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about theatre? Have you ever done that, or has it always been film and TV that's had your heart?
I've always been focused on film and TV, but definitely during training, we would put on theater shows. In LA, I did like a 2-week run of a theater show, which was great. But I think like a lot of people you'll speak to, unfortunately, this doesn't pay the bills. And especially now, it's like, now it's a bit different with verticals. You can get consistent work. So you can actually afford to take a month off and just focus on a theater run. But yeah, I do enjoy it, but I feel like I also satiate that desire through just acting in film TV, because to me, it's the same thing internally.
That's really interesting you said that verticals has given you consistent work, and obviously you've talked about the fact that you're going almost around the world trying to find stuff, and it is hard to break in. When did verticals then as an option come on your radar?
That's it. It was really during the strikes, the writer strikes, the actor strikes, to go from like 140 auditions a year to then down 20. And it's like a good booking percentage is like 3 to 5%. So if a couple had come to me and I'd read the scripts, and like most people, you're like, probably not for me. But then one came through, I'll be fully transparent, at the right price. And I thought, let's just give it a go, right? Treat it as an opportunity to prove that you can play the lead and prove that you can do it well. And yeah, that was in Australia. That was Pregnant by the Billionaire. And that was fantastic because from day one, Sky Liddell, who was also the lead on that, it was her first one as well. And we both made the decision, we're just going to play this for real. Like, yes, it may be Bold and the Beautiful. Who cares? That means nothing to me. At the end of the day, it's 2 people connecting, trying to live truthfully under the imagined circumstances. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And obviously that's on Real Short. It's got a lot of views, isn't it? You go back. It's one that I think people watch and watch and watch.
Oh, good. Keep watching.
Honestly, I've watched it. Yes, I've watched it.
Oh, yeah.
The story is a bit crazy because the next 2 that you're in, which are 2 of my favourites of yours. Okay, now the first one obviously it's a vertical title. Daddy's best friend made me his billionaire wife. So you look at that and you go, I do that anyway. However, when you watch it, I was like, oh, is this going to be a bit of an ick? It's not at all. It's actually probably one of the sweetest romantic love stories. And again, I think because you and your co-star CJ Walker find the truth in it. And then it's the same as well with the Heiress Blacklisted Her Husband, because again, you find the truth in it. And that is Everybody, the one that made me cry. That was the first vertical that made me cry because that man there ripped my heart out. And there's a scene on a bench and it just made me go. You know the scene. So with those then, once you sort of done that first one, where you like, it's quite interesting, you're like, I'm happy to stay with this? Because some people I know do one and then run away and are like, I'm never doing this again.
Right. I completely understand when people have that feeling, but I think I was blessed, as I said, with the right people. And again, I don't know how other people view it, but I just treat it like any other project. Like, as I said before, those auditions that I'd get before, I'd be reading for these Hallmark leads, and it's the same story. It's the exact same script. And there's a trap to like play into the airy fairy style of it. But like the audience wants a real authentic story. They don't want to be like insulted with, hey, wink, wink. It's like, no, it's two people who truly love each other in these crazy circumstances. So yeah, every time I would go onto a project, it's just like, let's ground this thing, because I know that the edit is already going to add all the sauce. The music, the costumes, there's going to be enough bells and whistles. Our job is just to bring it to life as truthfully as possible.
So I have to talk about all these three because you're in a very interesting position because you play a billionaire in all of them. Do you have a billionaire black card? I want to know about the moment where you go, and here's my black card.
If only my bank account actually reflected that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a look. Maybe it's an attitude. I think every set I go on, I'm always told about the voice. So I don't know if it sounds like a billionaire's voice, but yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm riding the wave though.
And do you have like a favorite suit or a billionaire's car that you've got to got out of?
I hate suits. I absolutely detest them. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry if it's going to break some hearts, but
this is awful because you're suffering for your art.
Oh wait, sorry. No, I actually love suits. Suits are my favorite.
No, you in a suit.
I just find it ironic that like you pursue a creative path, so you never have to wear a suit, but in turn you end up wearing a suit every day. Yeah, like they're actually, they look great. I will say that they look fantastic, but wearing them, especially a 3-piece in summer, I feel like it's a corset. You're just suffocating, sweating, and yeah. At least you don't have to. There's not too much physical action when you're wearing the suits.
And I have to ask as well. Obviously, another key dynamic of playing a billionaire is you will have a faithful assistant.
Yeah.
Do you? Because I know that obviously one of the nice things about once you get to know Australian verticals is you'll see certain faces. Is there someone where you're like, if I'm playing a billionaire, I need them as my assistant? We've got to deal.
Are you going to ask me who my favorite assistant is?
Yes, basically.
Uh-oh.
Or good memories about all of them.
Honestly, I've never had a bad assistant. I'll say that. Just recently worked with Patrick Zappacosta. He was lovely, delightful, underrated. And then obviously, I think, Harrison Keane. He was in those. I think he's been my assistant 3 times. So I should probably just hire him to walk around with me and get my copies. It's empty, Harrison.
Well, I feel like when you've got that relationship, at some point, Harrison's just going to take you out. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm being the lead.
That's the next one. Just Alex.
Revenge of the assistant. See, I've just written a vertical for somewhere. That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
I do want to talk more about the Heiress Blacklisted Her Husband, because I think one of the things is it looks phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
Was that, I don't know, this just feels like were you aware as you're making that everything was stepped up a bit of level on that?
Absolutely. Day one, I went to the fitting, and Sky Dominic, our director, I had just arrived back in Australia like the day before. And I was telling him, like, my goal moving forward is to really try to elevate the standard of these verticals. And he immediately came in and said, that's exactly what I'm here to do too. And so I knew from the get-go we were in safe hands. And then it forced me to go, okay, I'm going to treat this as in like, I've just booked a huge studio feature film drama. And I'm just going to give every moment, everything I got. And I think having him as our leader, a team captain, it forces everyone to get better. Because if you're dropping your weight in the scene, you're going to get, you're not going to be the favorite on set, let's say. So yeah, everyone elevated, everyone brought their A game to it. And it's not like that on every set, unfortunately. So big props to him and everybody involved on that.
Because one of the things that's really interesting in that is your character, Patrick Hilton,
Mm,
is complex. So
mm.
he's not an obviously perfect person. He's flawed. It's if people. I mean, personally, if you haven't seen it, like possibly pause this, go and watch it, and then come back because it is one of the best verticals you'll
Oh,
watch.
that's nice.
But it is also it's a story which we've seen various versions of basically your character and your wife, who's played by is it Edie?
Alicia Medina.
Lucy Medina. And it's that thing of you being sort of pulled apart by the extra person in the marriage, who's the CJ Walker, who is adorable and everyone should watch her as well. And then it's kind of the dynamics between the three of you. Now, often, sometimes when that story is in not very good hands, your character, it's that male lead, you're like, why on earth is the female lead with him?
Mm.
And you have like no sympathy. You just get really annoyed. Okay. So this is why I think what you did is so brilliant, that you made him likable, although he was flawed, and you made us want it to get back together at the end. And that
Mm.
also you take him on a journey and that he genuinely is trying to sort it out and make it better.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for saying that. It's the ultimate compliment when that gets recognized and appreciated. But I would see a lot of comments as well from fans saying, "Oh, I wasn't sure if I would like you in the villain role." And I was like, "But he wasn't a villain." That was my whole thought. I never thought of it as he had done anything wrong. And
Oh,
that's the old adage that everyone is a hero in their own story.
yeah.
So if you come at it with that approach, you give yourself the justification to um to believe in all those things. So yeah, my approach was just he was trying to juggle all these things and it was information that he didn't know.
And that one as well. Sky Dornix mentioned to me that there was, I think it was that shoot where you had a lot of time waiting for airplanes to clear to try and shoot the scene. Was it in that one?
Oh yeah, that was the final shot. The final shot. Yeah, yeah. It's quite cinematic, so I think it was well worth it. But yeah, and it was about trying to find what was the prettiest plane. Oh, we don't want the cheap budget airline. No, let's get a real one. Let's get
It's
a
a
new one.
billionaire show. So
Yeah,
we can't have
exactly.
and there's EasyJet flying over. So,
That's right.
okay. So obviously then there's a possible like, oh, I'm slightly stuck playing Billionaires, but then you do Secret Heiress Spoiled by Two Rockstars,
Mm.
which to me I think isn't that one of the first verticals that's kind of tries to bring in the music industry?
To my knowledge, yes.
Because to
Um,
me it
yeah.
seems odd that it's not used more. I mean, if you want to do drugs, sex, rock and roll, you bring the music industry in. Why would you not make more verticals about this?
And you bring me in. Exactly.
Yeah.
but no, that one honestly was such a delight and is absolutely one of my favorites. Not only because of that, but you had John, our director, who from day one said, we're going to shoot this with a different aesthetic. He said verbatim, I want it to look like Stranger Things. And then all of us were just like, oh, yeah, that's it. And trying to push the genre away from that plastic look, the traditional
Mm,
K-drama look. Um,
100% does that. Yeah.
yeah. And then obviously you got JC Ann, ultimate professional, the key quintessential executor. She comes up, rocks it, nails it. One take is all you need, but she could do it 10 times over if she needed to. You had Alex Pychtin. I think it was his first vertical, just king of charisma, oozing energy and vibe. And the three of us gelled so well. I'd love to explore that story more or explore those subgenres more. I think there's huge potential in that. So it was a real pleasure on that.
Because have you heard JC sing as well? Because she's
Absolutely. She
amazing,
played
isn't
some
she?
songs for me. She was right when I think she was about to release her first one. Yeah. No, very talented girl. Real
Yeah, she's
talent.
amazing. Um, so obviously you've played Billionaires, but you have also done a few werewolf ones
Ooh,
recently.
yeah.
Where was it a little bit of work to persuade you to go werewolf?
Absolutely not. I
Okay,
just had,
you were on board.
I just had to tap into the rage. I feel like just aesthetically, that they want that, but then it's like, okay, well, how do I, again, motivate that? And it's just, yeah, a lot of growling, a lot of voice work, and just intensity. I love action films too. So anytime you get to tap into that, and as you know, the Billionaire there's a certain emotional range that you're allowed to play in. Whereas a werewolf, it's like you can break off the lid and get crazy, get fun.
I'm not going to get the name right, but it's something like Alpha, you're pregnant, Luna's escaped, but you're the Alpha King, and I can't quite remember.
Yeah. Alpha
one of the-
King, your pregnant Luna has escaped. Or escaped.
That's it, yeah. One of the things I wanted to ask about that is obviously you reunited with Marissa. What was it like working with her? Because obviously I think when we put the two of you together, magic happens.
Oh yeah. Maria is one of those directors where you feel so incredibly safe and taken care of. Her empathy is out of control in a great way, where whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Because I know I'm in safe hands. And that's the ultimate thing. You come onto some sets where, like, it's just a job. The director's obviously there just to make things happen. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to allow the audience to engage their emotions, you have to dig deeper. And she's someone who facilitates that brilliantly. It's always total joy with her. I would do it any day of the week. Love you, Maria. Yeah.
Good. What with Werewolves as well, was it a bit more interesting because you do get to play with more locations, don't you? Because obviously with Billionaire you do end up like, okay, there's a lot of very nice houses, but that's pretty much where you spend your time.
You become numb to it. It's like, you start to criticize, like, oh, that bathtub isn't as big as the last one. Yeah, so the occasions was great because it was in Australia and we got to be by the ocean, some really beautiful cliffs. And then for a lot of the mansion stuff, we all stayed on set actually, which was quite great. It didn't get as rowdy as I thought it would be, but a bit of trivia I want to share about that project is halfway through, I got nailed with a super bad flu. And I had this awful cold. I was incapacitated. So about halfway through, they would shoot everybody's coverage. They'd have me rest in bed. All right, get him. Get the Alpha King. Bring him in. Shoot a scene. All right, rest him. Get me back to bed. So I'd be up and down. And Reece Sherlock, tremendous man, tremendous actor. He played my assistant in that. He ended up catching it too. So you had your Alpha King
and your assistant.
and assistant both like drugged up, just trying to like pound waters and try to stay upright. But I was told that you can't tell the difference on the camera. So I don't know if that means I always look drugged up or or it means it's okay.
So it's like, is there like a sheen at some point?
I think there's a glaze.
Yeah. So with the werewolf ones, is that something you'd like to do more of, or is it kind of what are you looking for in roles now?
Great question.
What do you want to challenge you?
Absolutely. I said this recently. I would love to explore something gladiator themed or Spartan themed. I understand that the budget would be higher on that, but I feel like the industry's kind of at a place where we can start to take a couple more risks. Just where we can also get a bit of that male audience. Still keep it a romance themed show, but just kind of expand. I'd love to do more action. I think there's just so much potential in it, especially with choreography. If you're shooting horizontally, you have to fill up the frame. You have to make sure a lot of things look good. If we're just talking here, it's like it cuts down the amount of, in my opinion, probably the amount of choreography that you need. So anything that would be involved in action, buddy cops. A good friend of mine, Rick Shepard, he's actually writing a few of those and is trying to get those made. So exciting time for the industry, venturing into new genres.
And do you think we could see more of Australia on screen? Because one of the nice things about Pregnant Luna, Alpha King one, is that obviously Maria does include proper like parts of Australian culture. It's not hidden with because I know particularly the Australian viewers of Verticals find them hilarious when it's clearly Australian number plates on cars. But it's like, no, we're in the Hamptons, we're in America. Can we lead more into basically, let's celebrate that we're in Australia?
Potentially. I mean, I think it all comes down to the audience. If there's a demand for it, I think it's still just pure numbers wise, it's going to be hard to compete with the US. But I think if someone's daring enough and bold enough, then it could definitely be done. There's a lot of great talent there as well. I mean, you'll see half of these verticals, it's an Australian playing an American, just like it is in Hollywood. So a lot of potential there for sure.
Okay. And then I know that recently you've been filming in China again. So kind
Hmm.
of in this lovely full circle of you
Full circle,
initially
baby.
identifying it years ago and being well ahead of the curve.
Mm.
How did it come about filming and working with verticals in China?
Well, a lot of the producers that I've worked with outside of China have all been from mainland China, and there are a lot of new platforms emerging, so which is great for a lot of emerging talent, a lot of opportunities, and yet it's I don't know what else to say other than it's a boom period. So we're all experiencing something which is uncommon in the industry. To say you're a regular working actor is, as I said, a rarity, especially in present times.
And going back to China, kind of with
Hmm.
that period, has stuff changed? What can you sort of see? You just like culturally?
Um, that's a very hard question to answer. I don't think so. I mean, for me, I always enjoy being in China. I have such an amazing time. I've met so many incredible people, and not to go too into this sphere, but I think it gets a bad reputation in Western media. Like the day-to-day life is tremendous. There's so many beautiful people, so many amazing things that you can do that you can't do in the Western world.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I got nothing but praise to share over here.
Okay. And then do you speak some Chinese would be the obvious
Ooh,
question, or Mandarin?
I'm about to get criticized by some specific people, but 我会说一点点中文. I can speak a little.
Okay, so you can kind of get by,
Yes, a
yeah.
combination of hand gestures, sign language, body language, and my limited knowledge and some Google Translate sometimes.
Okay. I have to ask, because obviously you mentioned being born in Canada, and obviously Canada's also got a really thriving vertical. There's a huge amount being made in
Mm.
Vancouver and Toronto. Is that something that's ever interested you, sort of looking at maybe going and working somewhere like that for a bit, just to change it up?
Yeah,
Almost something else.
potentially. I know that a good friend of mine, Nick Westaway, he's got a stranglehold on that market right now. So I think let him dominate that. But yeah, absolutely. At some point, it'd be great to do a crossover together. I'd love to work with him at some point. And I know there's a lot of talented people out there too. So yeah, open to anything.
Because yeah, the British media, when you talk about verticals, that's who they cope with, like Nick Westaway, because like
Mm.
who's in home and away, we understand that, right? We can work with this. They need some sort of routine, and that's it. Home and away, right? We're all right. Home away on
Yeah,
neighbours.
attention. Where is he? Where is he?
Exactly. We can talk to him. That makes sense. Can you just talk a bit more generally about just like the Australian cast? Because it kind
Mm.
of blows my mind a bit how much talent there is in Australia. Because obviously I'm a whinging pom. We're getting there now in the UK, but I would say
Yeah.
we are at least 6 to 9 months behind where the Australian vertical industry is.
Mm.
How many people now are you seeing coming into verticals from like the traditional Australian film and TV? I feel like it's more accepted in Australia and people picked it up quicker that this is a thing that we can elevate and work and what area we can work in.
Absolutely. I think especially on the crew side of things, you see a lot of gaffers and sound guys who traditionally work on film and TV popping over because they've got 2 weeks free. And I'm like,
Mm.
that's exactly how it should be. It's just another medium. And then on the actors front, absolutely. As I said before, there's so much talent in Australia, and that's why a lot of Hollywood film and TV, you'll be surprised, like, oh, that person's from Australia. And it's just because there's just not enough opportunity in Australia, but the talent is insane. I mean, you got your Paul Hughes, you got your Alicia Medinas, so many other just great talents there who deserve to be showing their great work. And for the future of it, um, certainly last year it was really intense. There was maybe like a couple per month, or maybe 4 or 5 per month in Sydney alone. I think as of this year, it has started to slow down a little bit. I don't know the reason why, but I would highly encourage production companies or platforms to look into continuing to work there. Because, yeah, as you've said, so much talent. It'd be a crime not to.
And then I kind of, in my head, I envisage that you've all got like a little bingo card. You've like making sure you've worked with everyone else. Like, is there anyone you're aware of in the Australian vertical industry? They're like, oh, we haven't been on screen together yet. We need to sort that out.
I don't. I haven't heard of any bingo cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's the degrees of separation. There's always going to be one or two people away max. Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah. Going forward, you also, people who follow your Instagram know that you do quite a bit of music.
That's right.
As well. Is that ever something you've been interested in trying to bring into verticals, your music, both with just like either part of a storyline or just actually elevating the sound and music of a vertical?
Great question. On that last part, I'd absolutely love to get into altering the soundtracks and putting just a bit more care and attention to that, because I'm sure we've all had it where you're like, I recognize this song from my other show. Well, that sound effect, and I get it. They're under time constraints, but absolutely. And even in Secret Heiress, the Rockstar one, even in the final cut, there's me playing guitar, and it just feels so good because it makes it authentic. It makes it different. It's true to me. And in turn, allows the audience to believe it instead of just feeling like it's a copy paste script and all that kind of stuff. So absolutely, music is something I do in my free time, record and write songs, written over hundreds of songs. And even my rock band, shout out Louis Lovesix, we are planning on releasing our second album at some point early next year. If we get some free time, we can record it. It's like a pop, metal, rock, bit of a vampire vibe to it. And yeah, would love to get that out to the fans for sure.
Okay, make sure you tell us all, because we're
absolutely music video and all.
Oh, excellent. And then you can, well, a few people who you could have in the music video.
There you go. Turning that into a vertical. Boom.
And then just talking about other skills around verticals, have you got an interest in, producing or writing or directing, just sort of for longer term? Can you see yourself moving into that sort of role?
Potentially, yeah. I've directed and written before my own projects. They're the greatest teachers because you think you're doing one thing until you get to the edit and you realize I haven't even got anything here. And so it's the greatest lesson to make your own project, I think, write, direct, edit. I definitely like to get into directing and producing, but I think where the industry is at right now, I'm not ready for that task at the moment. Once we get into genres where it's my natural style, my natural energy, then I feel like I'll become of value and I'll be able to do things that other people can't. But at the moment, if we're just going strict romance tales, I think there are better skilled people out there for that. But down the line, for sure.
That's a really interesting answer. Thank you. So I'm just going to ask you just some more general questions. Okay, what are your favorite movies?
Whoa, the ultimate question, the ultimate challenge.
I see. I didn't say just one. You can name a few.
I know. Thank you. Thank you for giving me that out. It depends. I don't know if you feel like this for yourself, Jen. To me, it's almost like music. It's like food. What experience am I after? Because I could say, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Pirates of the Caribbean, but then I also love like the brooding dramas like Brothers with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. Anything Christian Bale. I love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Matt McConaughey. Whatever. Like I also love like 1980s horror, like The Thing, with Kurt Russell. Add a Silence of the Lambs in there. Add The Fly, Jeff Goldblum. Just things that spark my imagination and take me on a ride. It doesn't have to be cinematic brilliance. It just has to be a compelling story.
And one where basically you're absorbed, you're in the story.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have to turn into Beetlejuice. That's the bottom line. That's what has to happen.
Okay. And you said that wonderfully, because obviously you mentioned Hugh Jackman. Who are your favourite Australians who've made it big in Hollywood?
Ooh, favourite Australians?
Who are the ones you're like, you have done this nation proud?
Honestly, outside of him, he's the the flag bearer, and I think the best out of the males.
Yeah.
But I would say my favorite other actors are not Australian.
Okay. No, it's right. Well, name your favorite other ones then. We don't
Yeah,
have
of
to.
course.
Yeah.
Anything Christian Bale, I can't
Mm.
go past him. And McConaughey. I love the intensity and the passion, that rage that, with Christian Bale, every time you see him, every time there's anything of level of intensity,
Mm.
it's 100% truthful, 100% committed. You're not getting shortchanged. And with some actors, you go to see, you're like, oh, that was an okay performance, or that one was really good. So you feel like it's inconsistent, whereas
Mm.
he's always on it. I really like Jessica Chastain. She's the same. Everything she does, I'm like, oof. You just imagine being on set with her doing a scene. Like, I cannot cannot phone this in whatsoever. I have to be so prepared. And any fake moment, anything that's pushed, she would call it out. You're like, yep, sorry. That was bad acting. Let me try again. Sorry. Like, people who hold you to this super high standard, I love that. And they're masters at it.
I just have to ask us. I'm going to come back to talking about people sort of elevating the standard. What is your favorite Christian Bale movie?
Movie.
Because mine would be an odd choice.
Oh yeah.
Mine would be Empire of the Sun. Because I think he is astonishing in that, and he's so young.
And it's in Shanghai. Oh,
just everything about that movie is perfection. I would argue that's Spielberg's greatest movie. I mean, I'm probably on my own with that, but I would argue it.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's like we're talking about before, like moods for movies. It's not something I want to watch all the time, but I'll watch it maybe once a year or so, and just heart-wrenching and beautiful. Another great Christian Bale movie set in China during the Nanking Massacre. It's called Flowers of War. I'd highly recommend it. Very, very sad movie, but beautiful story. So outside of those two, which are tremendous, can't go past American Psycho. I have to choose Batman. All three.
All three, that's right. You don't have to choose between them.
Yeah. Just, yeah, man. His intensity, I just believe him in every moment. And that's what I want to see when I watch a movie or a TV show.
Oh, that's a great answer. Thank you. You were just talking about obviously when you are with on set and just that thing when people elevate it and bring it. What advice would you give then for people trying to break into the industry now? I could see that would be quite daunting now because the Australian vertical industry is quite established, and if you're a new person trying to break in, people are going to walk on that set, I imagine, and be quite like, "Oh, it's Alex Pychtin,"
I don't know if they'd say that, but if they do, cool. Thank you.
You'd be like, "Get me a coffee. I'm a billionaire."
Yeah, exactly. Did you not learn from Harrison? You get copies. What I would say is it's actually quite challenging. That's why it's a beautiful question, because there's so much work at the moment. How can you turn it down in an industry where it's notorious for unemployment? Like, you have to go for the opportunity. But I would strongly suggest and highly recommend focus on training first. Like, these things are out there for people to see. They're popular. And if you're not prepared, you're gonna, you're gonna get lost in the sea, and you don't want to build a reputation as someone who is just not up to it. Because you might get a shot as a lead once or twice or 3 times if you're lucky. If it doesn't do well, you're kind of like, well, it didn't work out so well last time. So focus on training. It may seem very easy, but acting is extremely difficult. And especially in a vertical format where things move fast, you need to be over-prepared. You need to know exactly what you're doing, because you're going from this scene to this scene to this emotion to this thing so fast. Highly recommend focus on your training first. There's always going to be work. It's never just going to disappear. So take the job if you get the opportunity. Congratulations. But please prioritize training. Never stop training.
That is brilliant advice. Thank you. So just before we finish, future projects. What can people look forward to seeing you either on a bigger screen or their mobile screen coming up over the next few months?
There'll be a scene of me just ripping up this suit. I hate this thing. So at the moment, I'm very blessed. My schedule is back to back, booked out. So a lot of projects coming this summer. So all the fans get excited. All 7 of you. Yes.
No, Alex, that is not true, young
I'm
man.
teasing. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I have to be self-deprecating at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of great projects, and dare I say, some of my favorites. Chemistry is a really hard thing to come by, and in some of my recent ones, I've had what I believe is the best chemistry I've ever had with some cast members, and I think these projects have a lot of potential to go very far, to even hit that heiress level, so long as the marketing is assisting that. Yeah, all different styles. All different styles. We've got some traditional billionaire stuff. We've got some different genres that I don't want to spoil just yet. But all I'll say is stay tuned. I'm in a very blessed position and eternally grateful, and I can't wait to continue providing some shows for you guys.
Okay. And then I just want to finish because obviously I know you're being self-deprecating, but you do have more than 7 fans.
What, 8?
Yes.
Yes.
Because yes, everybody's got to say. So obviously I ran the fan awards, and you were quite rightly nominated for newcomer, and were 3rd, and you had thousands of votes from around the world.
Oh.
It was not just 7 people, and a lot of people absolutely adore you. I guess I just wanted to finish with, what is it like? I would imagine that Verticals is the thing that's given you that connection with your fans of your acting. Kind of just, what is it like experiencing that, and kind of what do you take from it?
Absolutely. The thing that touches me the most about it, it's kind of what you mentioned earlier when you were talking about Heiress and how it affected you. It's when you get a message for someone that's like 3 paragraphs long on a DM, identifying the things that you deliberately choose to do in your performance. So when they say, when you did this moment and you had that thing in your eyes, and they detail exactly what you set out to do, it's like, and how it affects them, that you have that power, that it's, not to get too like, I don't know what you call it, philosophical, whatever, but nowadays with so much distance, we're in phones, we're not connecting. The fact that you can actually have that effect on people, you sometimes forget your value as a human and your ability to positively impact somebody. So they're the things that really warm my heart. And I love the passion. I love the affection that the fans give. Sometimes there are a few people who get a little bit cheeky, but that comes with the territory. And
Boundaries, people, human beings.
I understand that.
Your son, would you want them getting that messages? No.
Yeah, of course. But I also understand it, and I'm aware that comes with it. But I really appreciate the love and attention. I might not always be able to get back to them in a timely manner, but I always read the messages, so I really appreciate that.
And I just want to finish by saying thank you so much, because you're an absolute superstar.
Oh, Jen.
Some of your time to talk to me and all the internet. So just thank you.
Before you do that speech, let me do my speech, please. I just want to thank you for what you have done for all the talents involved. I'm sure people have said this to you before, but just how you've given a platform to put a spotlight on the talent who, as we know, a lot of these platforms don't post the names of the actors or the talent involved. So unless someone's really interested, you got to go internet sleuthing. You've made that easy for people, and you've helped build fan bases for people, and everybody's so appreciative of you. And please keep doing what you're doing. You're fantastic, Jen. We all really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank you.